Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabans, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, we got a pretty tricky show here for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, some major news dropped over the weekend surrounding Paul George. And the news was Paul George was being suspended for 25 games by using a drug that was banned. And then Paul George went out and put out a statement about, not being in the right mental space and all of this and all of that. But a lot of people were questioning and scratching their heads at what Paul George had to say. One of those people was Charles Barkley on Inside the NBA with Ken. And Charles Barkley was like, wait a minute, there's something fishy going on here. The statements that you're making here doesn't make sense. And Charles was saying there are no excuses for using performance enhancers, right? So even when this topic was brought up to, these are now former professional athletes, not you and I sitting here analyzing things. Professional athletes, Charles was like, yeah, something is off here, right? But then Dillon Brooks was making some headlines over the weekend for some interview he did with a streamer. And I think one of the comments that was first a lot of people were talking about was that he said that LeBron is overrated and all of these things, right? But it wasn't that went viral. It was another interview when they were talking about player podcasts. And Dillon Brooks was essentially saying Paul George and Draymond Green's podcasts aren't any good. But as he was talking about it, the interviewer now brought up the thing about the 25-game suspension. And Dillon Brooks said it was performance enhancers. He said it was performance enhancers that he might have been using, and he hinted to other people using it. And the reason I'm saying he's hinting to other people using it was because of his explanation. He said Paul George wasn't moving like that before, and all of a sudden he's moving and jumping out of the gym. It's so obvious. Take a listen to what Dillon Brooks had to say here.
You know what you should do?
What?
Podcast.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, I be getting on dudes that want to do the podcast during while they're playing.
Like Paul George and Draymond Green?
They're all terrible.
You don't like Draymond's podcast?
Oh, you talk too much for me. But I'm saying they're not good.
Thank you, brother.
Because they're so focused on the.
What are your retirement plans after retirement?
Sit back and burn some ganja.
Oh, you're a pothead. You a pothead. You definitely smoke before games. Nah, bro, hold on. Let me smell your weed.
Did you see your match about 25 today?
Who did? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they cut. Oh,
Yeah.
No, hey, man, I don't know if
But that's PEs, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's PEs.
He dropped 30 points or some shit. They tested him right away.
Right away. But it was looking like it, though.
Yeah.
For real?
Dead ass, he don't move good. And all of a sudden he's cashing out, looking like himself like 4 years ago.
So it was destined to happen.
Fantastic. You heard what he had to say. But Dillon wasn't the only person that weighed in on this issue that also believes that Paul George is doing something. And the other person was Emmanuel Acho, who also used to play in the NFL. And he touched on this subject, but he was much more vocal about it because I think he studied human psychology, got his master's or something like that. So when Paul George used the issue of mental health, he got really triggered by it. But I want you to listen to what even Acho had to say because it's pretty insightful. But before we get into it, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. PrizePicks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least 2 for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week I'm really looking forward to some of these upcoming games. This week I'm picking Stephen Curry for more than 29 points. I'm picking Kevin Durant for more than 27 points. I'm picking Giannis Antetokounmpo for more than 12 rebounds. And I'm picking Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me, and you like to play it safe, you'll love PrizePicks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Okay, great. So what we want to do is I want to play what Acho had to say. I want you guys to listen to this as well. And then we're going to come back and continue on with the show. Take a listen to this here.
Mental health, to me, I believe, is the most under-discussed, significant issue that plagues society today, especially amongst black men. Let's be real. So if there are legitimate mental health issues by which you need to take proper medication, the dilemma isn't in taking the medication. The dilemma is in not reporting that you had to take the medication. In most sports, you can plead to a doctor and get a pass. Ask TJ, ask Shady, or just ask me. Adderall is a banned substance in several sports, but you can get a doctor's exemption if you need to take Adderall. If you get popped for Adderall without the doctor's exemption, you simply test positive. So given how serious and the significance of mental health, if you need to take something legitimate, it is very easy to go through the legitimate means by which you have to take that, as opposed to missing more than 25% of the NBA season. Here's what else runs me hot about the whole Paul George situation. If you actually had to take something legitimate, tell us what it was, as opposed to, over the past few decades, I've discussed the importance of mental health, and in recently seeking treatment for an issue of my own, I made the mistake of taking an improper medication. Paul George, if it was legitimate, the entire world would have grace for you because you deserve that grace. Mental health is just as significant as any other issue plaguing the body. If it's plaguing the mind, it's of more significance, I would suggest. But now, don't get popped for something and then potentially be hiding behind the guise of mental health. When people get popped, stand 10 toes in it. Hey, I took a performance-enhancing drug. My bad. I got caught. I remember some dude got popped, track runner. He got popped for testing positive for some substance. I was making out passionately with my girlfriend, and she had been eating beef. She had been eating beef the day before, and I got popped because of passionate lovemaking with my girlfriend. Shut up! I'm so tired of people getting popped and then trying to retroactively spin it. Not saying this is what PG was doing, but just so y'all know, you can file for doctor's exemptions for things that are suspended. Do that. And if you don't do that, tell us what it was. A bunch of grace for you. But now to me, you're just another dude that got popped for a performance-enhancing drug, and you've just used another excuse. Your excuse just happens to be more sentimental than the guy that was passionately making out with his girlfriend, than the woman that was eating meat in Mexico and didn't realize that the beef she was eating had steroid-induced hormones, than the woman who was taking this drug. Your excuse is just more sentimental, but it's an excuse nonetheless.
Fantastic. So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? I want to go back to Dillon. Dillon was saying he don't move like that. That's not how he moves. And then all of a sudden he's dunking and drawing up, because for those of you who may not know, Paul George had a big 30 plus point game and he was dunking and doing all this kind of stuff. And this is, I guess, what rose the what cause people's antennas to go up, maybe we need to investigate him. Then he did a test and he failed. And these guys are suggesting that he was using performance enhancers, which now I want to get to the reason why we put LeBron on the thumbnail. We had done shows with Rick Bucher where Rick Bucher had said is everybody in the NBA just assumes that LeBron is doing something. This is what Rick Bucher said. It's like an open secret, right? Number one. Number two, if you now go back to what Dillon Brooks said in terms of the athletic advantage it gives you, the physical advantages it gives you on the court, you now look at LeBron. I'm like, wait a minute. If this was apparent with Paul George, no one is asking any questions looking in that direction? No one? No one? Okay, let's put it another way. Are we all going to sit down and say this is normal? There's no precedent for it. None whatsoever. There's no precedent for it. And my hint is, if Paul George is doing it, there are more people that are doing it. There's a fundamental difference between doing something and being caught doing something. There's a fundamental, because had Paul George not been caught, he would have been doing it and nobody knew. We would not have known. But it wouldn't mean, just because we didn't know doesn't mean he's not doing it. But if you listen to Dillon Brooks as an NBA player saying this guy is not moving normally, it's obvious. If it's obvious for Paul George, how can it be obvious for other players? Wink, wink. These are just questions we're asking. And I think they're important questions. If he can tell that with Paul George, nobody else got nothing to say? Nah, I think people think something, but everybody's acting like as if it's not happening. And then every once in a while you hear a slip up from an NBA player, multiple NBA players. The last show we did with some NFL guys, where this NFL wide receiver said LeBron is on something, but nobody's saying nothing. So we gonna suspect Paul George. LeBron dunking and doing backflips, but nobody gonna suspect him. Okay.